If you can hear my voice, this is what I'll say. I'll say it's a time to celebrate the good things in our lives and days. If you've got a pet inside, don't make it into a strays. I just bumbled and lost my train of thought. And if you are in the sun, it's gonna feel hot. But if you're feeling grateful for all the wonderfulness, there's no way I'll rhyme with that. Will you give me forgiveness? Oh, welcome to this day. Happy love morning to you. Welcome to this day, and this is what we do. Share a little gratitude with all of us here. And if you have some friends around, get them near. It's love morning. Good morning. I have headphones on because there's construction happening outside. And I am grateful for that. Oh, did I say it's Love Morning? Hi, I am John Halcyon, and this is Love Morning. And we are sharing what we're grateful for, getting our focus for the day into being love ambassadors. How can we be kind? I have headphones on as a muffle. It's actually kind of hard because I can't hear myself. But you can let me know if you can hear the construction outside. I'll try to get the microphone even closer and see if that helps. I'm so grateful. Just finished the repairs on the ceiling leak. But what's happening now is they're doing repairs around the chimney over here that is causing some leaking. So this is all part of the repair, and so I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the sound of people working. Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Jennifer. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you are feeling good and healthy, or at least aware of your body's incredible abilities to be self-healing. I'm grateful for an idea that I heard in a podcast recently, and it was kind of about that the fundamental focus of our lives should be in appreciation. At least this is how I interpreted what they said, that the evolutionary circumstances that had to happen to result in this, us, is fantastical. And the circumstances to create a planetary environment that can sustain us, the perfect distance from a star, the wobble of the earth, the seasons, there's the presence of water and land and rotation, like all of these things that are they're not given. They're fantastically amazing. And so even if you don't believe in miracles, the odds of this happening, the statistical possibility of being you right now on this planet are so incredible that a miracle is actually more logical to believe in. And yet we forget that constantly. We are almost never in that state of awe. We are almost always focused on what's wrong. The fact that we're not making enough money, the fact that our body isn't working well, the fact that so-and-so this is unfair. There's just, and there's evolutionary reasons for that. But because we have the logical wherewithal to understand that we are not in danger, we really should be spending some energy returning to that state of awe. Because what happens is when we lose that contentment in being, we seek contentment elsewhere. So we seek productivity, doing, building, growing, other things that make us feel content. And that is a forever chasing that is eventually destructive and never quite fulfilling. It's always a temporary, because the satisfaction is always there. And so the argument could be made that the majority of our efforts once we know that we are surviving, once we know that we are not going to starve or we're not going to freeze, that we should spend as much energy as we can, as much of our focus, much of our practices to regain some of that appreciation of being and free ourselves from that prison of the need to be doing, not just for ourselves, but for the future of our planet. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. I am John Halcyon, and I cannot wait to hear what you are grateful for. Good morning, Juan. Hello, Nika and Esta. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nika says, thank you for saying that, John. I'm grateful for your grace. I tend to live in my head at times and forget to come back to heart. You and me both. Yeah, that is that's why I like this idea and how I've been focusing on it and trying to think about it, because it requires effort. This practice, this gratitude practice, the whatever practices you have of returning to presence is that antidote. Yoga, if you're doing movement practices that can bring you into awareness of your body, because awareness of your body is another way to go have awe, like, oh my God. I was reading this book about the body recently, and there's two things that really popped in my head of like, wow. One was that the number of muscles involved with our facial expressions is like massive, hundreds, I think, or 130 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm really not good at math or numbers or specifics, or lyrics or memorization, but I digress. So the face, like, we communicate so much facially, and it's a huge part of human communication. There's a few facial expressions that are universal amongst all cultures, one of which is smiling. And a true smile lasts 3 to 4 seconds and involves muscles that you do not have voluntary control over. So the reason why you don't like the way you smile in pictures compared to when somebody captures a picture of you actually laughing or smiling is because we do not have the ability to make the face of a true smile. Isn't that fascinating? The other detail that I was just like, wow, is that, we have a system in our mouths and throats so that liquids and solids go to separate places, and gases as well. Right? Every once in a while, oh, that went down the wrong. But that functioning system is always working without any input from you. Think about it next time you're chewing something, how precise it is, and how there's sensors and it notices like, okay, this is too crunchy. I still need to chew this. Oh, this is soft enough to go down. All of these things happening. Like, I just like, wow, like the rarity of me coughing on liquid is incredible, especially the way that I shovel food down my throat. So bravo, body. Thank you. So that's one of the reasons why when we lead the hug, I often lead with thank you for these bodies. Maybe I will try to include like a body fact of the day. Wee! Good morning. Welcome to Live Morning. It is Sunday, and I hope that you are enjoying the day so far, whatever time it is for you. If you've got something that you're grateful for, I would love to hear it. Juan says, I am grateful to build my van into a camper van with my 13-year-old boy. We have a 14-day road trip coming up. Whoop, whoop. Fun. I'm not sure if you can hear it. There's construction happening outside, which I am grateful for. And I'm trying to close off the sounds so that it doesn't distract either one of us. Good morning, Hope. Nika sharing, I read something online that said something like having a positive conversation with yourself mentally before bed, and you can rewire and condition your brain to wake up in a happier state and sleep better. Makes sense. I mean, I think the subconscious influences on our mind and thoughts are pretty profound. I mean, affirmations is a it's a good reminder because I was doing daily affirmations. I am not currently. Betsy, who is my co-host with Stay Spark, she gives us an affirmation every day. She's a huge proponent of the power of affirmation. She has a book called The Power Affirmation Journal and a whole program because you can program yourself. Good morning, Mingle. I love you too. Good morning, Brent. And hey, Brent, I saw you posted hey, come check this guy out. Thank you for that. Anybody that ever wants to put a link on their social media saying, hey, come join us for Love Morning or check out this guy's YouTube or join his Patreon. I mean, that's going far. I would assume that they would first want to listen, but yeah, I so appreciate that. Good morning, Vesper. How nice to see you. Vesper says, my aunt was laid to rest yesterday. A beautiful service for a loving and caring woman. Grateful for the chance to connect with my extended family in Minnesota despite the sad circumstances. I really appreciate the gratitude for those parts of life and including the grief, including the intensity and the loss. I really feel a huge misstep of our culture is in the denial of death conversations and in the incredible efforts and expense we go in to prolong life as long as possible. Those last year or 2 years, because we don't include death as part of our epic myth. It is the shameful denial. So the more that we can embrace the transitions of people living in this dimension to whatever is next for them, the better. So thank you, Vesper, and my heart goes out to your family. Jennifer says, today I am grateful for a beautiful day. You guys got to hear that, right? Oh, well. And the ability to make my own choices, choosing to be happy for my blessings and focus on the positive. Thank you, Jennifer. And there was a song that was sung in my, I think I saw the program. I was going to take a picture of the screen so I knew what song they were singing. It was a song about focusing on the positive. And as you know, it's something I think about a lot. And I also, am aware of the delicacy of what focus on the positive means versus falling into toxic positivity. A focusing on the positive is not a denial of the negative. Crap or cone does not mean you pretend there's no crap in the world. It means you do not forget the magnificence, forget to focus, because our evolutionary tendencies get us too wrapped up in the negative. Enough focus on the negative so that we are motivated to move on, to build, to create, to fix, to heal, to help, but not so much focus on the negative that we can't see the light, so we can't find the motivation. We can't feel energized by the glory. Thank you, Jennifer. Brent says, I'm grateful for friends visiting last night and sharing you a little by the way of Burning Man and DJ Leif playing on the stereo. So sweet. Oh, that's badass, Brent. Thank you. Good morning, Angelina. Angelina's saying, I have 2 sick people in my family, and I find myself overthinking how unfair it is that I have to take care of them myself, and less focusing on how lucky I am even to be here on this earth lately. I appreciate your gentle reminder. It's a constant recalibration and reframing, isn't it? Because the truth is, it is unfair. When I ran into my friend high school buddy on the street a couple days ago. His the two things that he thought that we don't do a good job of educating people about it. One was life is unfair, fundamentally. And if you're going to get tripped up whenever you notice that it's unfair, you are going to stay tripped up continually throughout your life. Which is at the same time, acknowledging that life is unfair does not mean that you are resolved to never work towards equality or equity. Tough one. Well, I'm glad that you are well enough to take care of someone, and I hope that you can find the joy, perhaps even, or intrinsic value of who you are, that you're able to be of service to someone who needs you. Gerbot says, I'm grateful for company from a friend on my trip to my dad's yesterday to say goodbye to our family dog. Ooh. Ooh. Heart is with you, Gerbot. I'm glad you had company and glad you had people around to hold your heart. Hey, Wolf Bear. Wolf Bear says, I'm grateful to be awake to see you for the first time in months. I said you love. Well, received and sent back. Good morning, Wolf Bear. Or what time it is for you. Yes. Thank you for being here. Nika is grateful for their friend Don. He is 68, full of life. I get sad thinking he won't be here one day. So I stay grateful for all the conversations and laughs I can still share with him. He's like Grandpa. I've been having a lot of those moments with my folks who are 81 and 83, just being like a combination of like profound gratitude and appreciation for them, and slipping in sometimes to, oh my gosh, they're going to be gone sooner than I think. It's hard. I took some video footage of my mom singing in the choir on Friday night, and I realized I'm like, oh, I wish I had more footage of my mom. I wish I had more footage of my mom. I mean, I have some. I wish I had more footage of both my parents just being casual. I have interviews with them, but I wish I have some footage of my mom laughing hysterically. That's the best. Now I have a little bit of her singing. I'd like to capture her maybe cooking or something. Vesper is grateful for great Sunday weather. Good morning, Michelle. Good to see you. If anyone else has any gratitude they would like to share, I am grateful for a chance to celebrate a friend last night. Went to a birthday party. I ended up not staying super long. I wasn't sure how long I was going to stay. I'm still, it was a dance party and people started drinking, and I didn't have to do either, but I'm grateful that I was able to have several good conversations. I'm grateful that one person that I do not know well, they came up to me and they really showered me with some appreciation. Someone who had seen videos of mine years ago, and that was a nice reminder as I am in this chapter right now, trying to figure out exactly where my energies might be directed. So it was really good to hear his interpretation of my value, and it was nice, very helpful. And I'm, grateful for friends. Michelle is grateful for a Sunday breakfast with her little family, hanging with the furries, and a restful Sunday. That's beautiful, Nika. How wonderful to hear that you have that feeling of connection and admiration. Full circle, indeed. Vesper sharing, there's a lot of loss around me lately. I've seen lots of memorial posts for people and pets on my feed. Makes me really want to savor the present moment and all of these moments I have with my family. So glad I went to Disney with my sisters in January, and so grateful for the memories we've made together. And it's an interesting experience that we're having now in the world when we are connected to so many people through these digital means. I feel like I'm aware of so many more deaths than I would be if I didn't have social media connections. Because I'm aware of deaths in people's lives that I'm not that close with. Nobody would have called me, for so and so's brother or so this person's sister and that person's aunt, but I see it online. So um, it's an interesting experience. There's also the experiences that I was being aware of lately, and the older you get, the more that death becomes frequent and a part of your daily patterns because, statistically, more of your peers are passing. So my dad, for example, he's his peers and friends and colleagues are dying frequently. He just went to a funeral for his former partner who's older than him, and they asked my dad to speak because even though they weren't that close for the last 20 years, but he said almost all of his friends are gone. In some ways, like that's some people's goals. Like I want to live so long that nobody comes to my funeral. But I'm not so sure if that is my goal. I think I would like. I don't know if I want to attend the funerals of everybody close to me. Esta says, I am grateful for my upcoming day with girlfriends who are helping me shop for something to wear to my daughter's wedding. What a win-win-win-a-thon that is. How awesome. Yay, Esta. How beautiful. Nika says, oddly enough, I'm not fearful of death, but more grateful. Hopefully, I'm a butterfly after this life. My grandpa kept saying, he goes, welcome to my cocoon when you would visit his dorm room. I had a clarification realization lately where I was saying that I'm not afraid of death. And they said, oh, me neither, but I'm afraid of dying. And I used to think that meant like those last moments. And then the way that they were explaining, like, no, those years or hopefully months of decline, of pain and loss of capacities, loss of mental and physical. That actually, that is scary. My brother asked me yesterday, he said, would you rather lose your mental capacities and be fine physically, so that, dementia type decline, or would you rather have your mental facilities but lose your physical abilities like MS or Lou Gehrig's disease? And I was like, ooh, I think I would rather lose my mental facilities. At the same time, without giving it a huge amount of thought, I would also like to put an arrangement in place where if I lose my facilities to the point that I am aggressive or angry or mean, that I am put down. I do not want to be paranoid and angry and a burden on the psyches and hearts of those I care most about. And I doubt I would have the capacity to take my own life in that point. So I will have to make an arrangement somehow. Whew, this conversation took a turn. Juan says, when it's time to go, it's time to go. Except we have a culture that really struggles with that. And even if you believe that, it's very difficult when someone close to you. I had friends recently whose father was given a terminal diagnosis. They said he had about 4 months, and so he said, "Okay, well then I want to go next Tuesday." And he scheduled a assisted suicide the next week. And his kids, they're like, what are you?" They were angry. They're like, "We could have 3 more months with you." And he's like, "But I don't want, those months are gonna suck, like." And even though when it's time to go, it's time to go. Like the thought of I could get more, you know, it's the reason why we do crazy surgeries and all sorts of expenditures on a body that is terminal. It's got a limited time to live, but we do so much, spend so much efforts and a medical system that tries to keep people alive that last 2 years. Michelle says we are all just walking each other home. I was thinking about you this week. I saw a great. Can I share? So Michelle gave me the most incredible gift. She gave me Ram Dass's picnic basket. It was a picnic basket gifted to Ram Dass for his birthday that he forgot or never picked up or left someplace. And so it's got a card, "Dear Ram Dass." So I have in the garage here the Ram Dass picnic basket. And I saw a meme this week it was a cool quote from Ram Dass, and then the picture they used of him was him sitting on a picnic blanket, going like this, going like, "Ah," which I thought was the greatest picture to use. It was like a really like profound quote and a picture of Ram Dass giving a funny face, and he was on a picnic table or like a blanket, and I was like, "That's awesome! I should print that out and put it with the picnic basket." Wolf Bear says, "I am grateful to have had such wonderful friends that are gone who showed me love matters most and that I can find new loving friends to share with. Like Grandpa Caleb said, it's a beautiful glass." Yes. I was thinking about Grandpa this morning. I'm preparing to I'm doing a workshop next weekend, next Saturday at a retreat on gratitude. And I think my plan is to start the practice explaining Grandpa Caleb and kind of why I'm in any position to talk about gratitude, which seems like a pretty simple concept. And so I think talking about Grandpa and his practice and his embodiment of gratitude would be a nice intro to subtleties of gratitude practice that I have learned that I'm going to try to share and practice. Ram Dass picnic basket. That'd be a good name for a band. "Hey, we're Ram Dass picnic basket, and we've got some great tracks to play for you tonight. Have a good time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be here now. Be here now. I don't know where you will be, but you better be here now." Any last gratitudes? Carrie says, "You're qualified to talk about a gratitude simply because you have walked the gratitude walk for so long. But the origin story is beautiful and a great way to begin the workshop." Agreed. And I think that there's some strategic part of it for me because, like, when I did my TEDx talk, I brought in Grandpa. I think there's something disarming when someone says, "I am a student of this person." Like, you don't have to trust me. I am a student. I'm a practitioner and I have lots to share, but I'm building on the wisdom of these philosophers, these visionaries, these gurus or whatever. All right. Well, I gotta, you know what I should do? I should put those lyrics into an AI song and say, "Make me a punk song about Ram Dass Picnic Basket and see whose is better, the AI song or my impromptu one. Thanks, Kiri. Luann is grateful for spending the last week with Mom. We traveled together, delivering tomato plants all over Reno. Lots of sweet moments. I love it! You are Johnny Appleseed with tomato plants. So badass. I just planted a tomato plant in the front. Just one this year because I tend to tomato plants. Man, those things are prolific. Michelle says, I like that the band was British. You know, I grew up in a time when all the cool bands were British. Gary says, I'm grateful for the beautiful interactions I have had with other people in passing today. What a beautiful gratitude for us to maybe close with. I'm grateful for the good morning interactions I had on my morning walk, and what a good reminder that we always have that opportunity to initiate good interactions as we go through our day. I think that is one of the fundamental building blocks of Love Morning, is to remind each other that and to see what possible ripples can happen. And also to trust that you have no idea that slight shift that happens in everyone's energy as they are greeted in passing by someone who is kind. And that little effect to their overall judgment of humanity that can happen. I just ordered some more stickers that say, be the reason someone believes that people are good. I think that's a super helpful one. Well, thanks everyone for being here today. Would you join me in a hug before we head off into the rest of our Sundays? Wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze, a hug. Appreciate this body. If you missed the beginning, watch the beginning of this. We got really into the magnificence of these bodies. Appreciating this opportunity to connect with one another, to hear one another's gratitudes, their moments, our struggles, our grief, the gratitude that we find in the grief, the acknowledgement of the cycles, the incredible power of recalibrating into awe and appreciation, and how liberating it can be to find contentment in being alive. So thank you for everyone for helping one another to be aware and practice. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you ambassadors of love, thanks for being here today for Love Morning. I will see you soon, I hope. Oh, be someone that, be the reason someone believes that people are good. This one actually says somebody. The new one says someone. I think I like that phrasing better. And the new ones are black and white. These ones are, I figured some people probably wouldn't want to put a pink sticker on things. So I made a real hardcore punk one. Maybe that'll be the album name for the new Ram Dass's Picnic Basket album. Thanks, Gearbot. Hey, Chris.